My name is Chris, and I'm an avid runner. My wife and I live full-time in our Airstream, traveling North America in search of great running trails and pathways. I document both the highs and lows of these routes so that other travelers might enjoy what I call running on the road. This week's run is on the Jim Dutcher Trail, located in Billings, Montana. Now, this is a north-south paved path, of which portions run along the Yellowstone River. This was nearly an 8-mile run for me, but that was partly because I took this wrong turn here and to avoid some construction. Also, I added another stretch at the end to get back to my campsite. The elevation cross-section shows only about 100 foot of elevation change, and since I ran from the north to the south, it is more downhill than uphill, but this run is also at around 3,100 feet above mean sea level. So if you haven't been in this area for a while, you might feel some elevation effects. There's not an official northern trailhead, but if you use the 1000 block of Mary Street, it should get you close enough to this parking area for a drop-off. And I'll include the Latin long in the description below. At the time I ran this trail, there was a porta potty in the parking area, so there is a little bit of support. The path is a wide, paved surface that is used as a bike path too, which is nice if you want someone riding along with you. The initial mile of this path is through the Billings Heights, which is a residential area. This path has both passive and active crossings, so you have to watch for some traffic, which might slow you down. You will run through this one underpass, and there is a stretch of road that is close to the trail, but it has this beefy guardrail for safety. But once you get through the neighborhoods, you will start to see more green space and parks and get further away from the traffic. Then you should get a glimpse of the Yellowstone River. So right after crossing this bridge, I came to this intersection on the path. To the left, the city was doing some repairs, so I turned to the right, which took me to this underpass in some creepy tunnel like when you would see in a horror film, which led me to the road and away from where I wanted to go. So I returned to the intersection and chose to continue on the path along the river, which did lead me to the construction, but I was able to find a trail near the river that took me under this bridge and back on the path along the river. From there, you will follow the path through these green spaces with views of the river. The path opens up a little wider here to allow more bike traffic. Towards the end, you will have a few 90-degree turns, which leads you to the southern trailhead at Mystic Park, which also gets you back along the river. And the path literally ends at this sign. So if you have someone picking you up, you will want to use the park address in the description below. Or if you're staying at the Yellowstone River Campground like me, you can walk through this foot trail and through a dry riverbed to get back to the campground. In summary, this is a 7 to 8 mile paved path, much of which is along the Yellowstone River in Billings, Montana. The surface is paved and wide enough to avoid any bike traffic. This path does not have any mileage marking, so you have to rely on electronic devices to keep your pace. The first few miles are through neighborhoods, but you will get a lot of mileage with river views. The neighborhood section will have some noise pollution, but past that along the river is fairly quiet. We stayed at this wonderful campground called the Yellowstone River Campground, which is at the southern trailhead. And there was parking at the north trailhead, but it might take a little effort to find it. And this trail is safe and accessible during the day, and hopefully you won't have to hit any construction barriers when you go on this run. I'll be posting these videos once a week as we travel through North America. Please comment below and look in the description for the addresses and grid coordinates for the trailheads. And I'll see you on the next Running on the Road.